If you could watch this all the way through, that'd be really cool. And share to someone that could use it too. Okay, thank you for the thumbs up. And subscribe. And follow me on Instagram. Okay. No.
So dramatic.
Sup fam? It's Richie from you know what, there's no time for introductions today. We got work to do.
What's going on, Richie? Is it just me? Or does Richie sound like a discount Filthy Frank? Like, I don't know if he's doing that on purpose, but every time I don't know why. Whenever I hear him talk like that, I just think of Filthy Frank. Is it just me? Maybe it's just me.
Jessie Paege, the most polarizing person on this corner of YouTube and the internet. She is a 19-year-old YouTuber with 1.5 million subscribers. She does a variety of content, mainly story times, some light music. I don't know, your typical YouTuber stuff.
I agree. She's not really my cup of tea. I mean, I don't personally subscribe to her or watch her content, but she seems to be a all-around good person that nobody seems to have a problem with. So I don't really understand what the point of this video is. She does do very well for herself. Obviously, she's well-liked. But I guess we're about to find out why or what your problem is with Jessie Paege. I don't think I've ever heard anybody say that they have a problem with Jessie Paege, but all right.
And she's been in the game for quite some time. She's friends with a lot of people that I am not a large fan of or don't.
You mean like your ex? Could that be your problem with Jessie Paege? She does hang out with your ex. For those who don't know, I don't know why anybody wouldn't, but Richie used to date Jacqueline Glenn. Jessie Paege hangs out with Jacqueline Glenn. Jacqueline Glenn considers Jessie a really good friend. So my guess would be that is your problem.
Get along with, but that's besides the point.
No, I'm pretty sure that is the point.
I think the average fan or supporter of Jessie Paege, or someone that even casually watches her content, would agree that she comes off as likable, generally agreeable. She's very colorful. She doesn't really try to offend anyone, and just comes off as relatively pleasant and easy to get along with.
How dare that bitch? You know what? I say we all go to her channel and like form a lynch mob. That bitch sounds horrible.
Personally never met her, but I keep consistently asking myself this question every time she comes up in my timeline, is that if she is all of these good, desirable qualities, why do I find her so insufferable? And
that's a really good question. My first direct question would be, if you don't like her and you don't watch her, why does she show up in your timeline? But I guess the world will never know.
It's a very difficult thing to put into words, because this person is obviously very well liked. They've created a community around themselves, almost like a shield. But after watching several hours of her content today, I want to break down exactly why I think Jessie Page's content and or videos are very not good.
Obviously, it's not too hard to put into words. Your video is 14 minutes long. Apparently, you found the words.
Now, I have broken down these problems into 4 different categories, which we will get to. The first being not as offensive, and the last one being kind of my least favorite. And hopefully these points in my ranting can verbalize exactly why I feel the way I do when I see her face and snippets of her videos. Problem number 1. Her editing. Now, everyone knows to be a YouTuber, you don't necessarily need the best editing, especially if you're doing story time videos. I mean, look.
Yeah, I've never watched a video and was just like, oh, this is great content, but the fucking editing. How do you hate someone for their editing? I mean, it's her content. She can edit it however she wants. This is such a weird thing to hate. And it just kind of backs up the fact that you watch her videos. That's why it's in your timeline. If you watch her videos so much, you know her editing. You're kind of digging your own grave on this one.
Look at Tana Mojo. She's essentially created an entire empire off of storytime videos with very little editing or cuts, and she's incredibly successful. But after spending
good for her. Jessie has her own style, and she's obviously incredibly successful as well. This is such a non-point. If her editing was a huge issue for people, she wouldn't have over 1 million subscribers. I'm willing to bet you're probably the only one that has an issue with this.
A lot of time watching Jessie Page's content and all her various videos, I noticed a few glaring issues and things that kind of came off hilarious without intending to be, or at least I think they weren't intending to be.
If you hate her so much, if you have such a problem with her, and cannot stand her editing, why have you spent so long watching her videos, as you just pointed out you do?
The first one being the random cutaways. Now what a cutaway is essentially a shot you layer on top of another shot, like when you're doing a story time video and maybe it's one long single take or maybe it's cut up, but you don't want your face on screen the whole time, so you insert certain things to maybe strengthen what you're saying or maybe add more depth to the narrative of your story time. But what I've noticed what Jessie Paige does is in almost all of her videos, minus the collaborations, she inserts random footage of herself, mostly in slow motion.
No one says that a cutaway can't be yourself. I don't get that point. Like, oh, it's when you don't want your face on camera. Says who? What if you want to cut back to a previous video you have done? You are obviously going to go back and do a cutaway to that video.
I take things seriously, and I want to take my experiences and tell all of you what I wish I heard and make you feel included, because I was so sad and terrified for the future and pessimistic, and I hated myself. I hated myself so much.
Just kind of not doing anything relevant to what she's talking about, or if it is relevant, it's very loosely based. And this is one of those things where if you point it out, it's difficult to unsee. Like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with just inserting clips over yourself with no audio, but if they don't mean anything, it's literally just you trying to look good, and it's almost like it's a little narcissistic. I don't know. Also, I'm not sure why she wears glasses. In most of her videos, she's looking at the camera.
Yeah, maybe it's a little narcissistic, but we are YouTubers. Are you fucking kidding me? Most YouTubers are pretty narcissistic. We make videos. I know tons of YouTubers who watch their own videos. Instagram, Twitter, all of these things, social media in general. These platforms are built around being narcissistic. Everybody is narcissistic. The number one person that most people should love, I'm not saying they always do, but is yourself. I mean, right? You are your favorite person, usually. Are you fucking kidding me? And this coming from the guy, look at the way you dress, dude. Like, you wear angel wings and you got the contacts and, you know, you put black paint all over you and stuff like this. Look at me. Notice me, senpai. Notice me. You have the nerve to call someone out for being narcissistic? Are you kidding me? Hello, pot? This is kettle. You're black.
Not even through the lenses of the frames. It's like she's not even trying.
Yeah, she's wearing glasses as a fashion statement. I don't know if you noticed this, but you've got blacked out contacts as a fashion statement. What's the fucking difference?
And the second thing that I noticed in most of her videos as far as editing goes, although this can just be also shoved into the content category, is that she rambles a lot. And what I
You mean rambles like a 14-minute video bitching about someone that you have never met, and the only problem you have with is obviously she's hanging out with your ex. This seems like such a forced video. I don't know, I don't watch your content and shit. Are you like becoming like, are you losing subscribers and shit? Are you losing views and you're just trying to use this as a way to fucking become relevant? I genuinely would love to know why you're making this video.
What I mean by rambling is that I know, like most YouTubers, you need to pad out your videos. You need to just add in random things and talk about random stuff and off-subject things in order to make your video over 10 minutes so you can rake in that cash.
You mean, again, like rambling about a girl you've never met and have admitted is a sweet person who has done nothing to offend anybody and is careful not to offend people? Kinda like that? And most YouTubers ramble. I fucking ramble. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, we become YouTubers because we have something to say. Who the fuck are you to judge what someone else does on their channel? You don't want to ramble? Fine, don't fucking ramble. But if she wants to, and her viewers don't mind it and want to see it, then more power to her. I don't understand why this affects you.
Which is totally fine, I get it. But when you are needlessly padding out your video to the point where you can make a 3-minute video, like she's done with her point, or whatever she's trying to say, and then the rest of the video is just talking about not a lot.
And if you're shy, I'm like, you should also own that, you know what I mean? Yeah, I like to do these benefits videos and kind of like talk about the benefits of things that wouldn't necessarily typically be seen as being beneficial. I definitely am less shy, not that I think being shy is bad, and when I am shy...
Point number 2.
Yeah, she seems to ramble a little bit. Again, I've never seen one of her videos. She seems to ramble a little bit, but, you know, she's kind of cute in how she does it. I mean, it's lovable. What's your fucking point? I mean, again, let's look at you. You could have just, hell, gone on Twitter and said, you know what? I really can't stand this girl. But no, you made a 14-minute video about points that aren't even really points. You said you have 4 points, and they're not even really points.
She's literally an android. We're gonna do a little...
Literally an android. Again, have you looked in the mirror? Are you kidding me? So what, she's robotic in her delivery in her videos. She tries to dress where she doesn't look like a human so much.
Conspiracy theories. I'm not a fan of conspiracy theories, but just hear me out for 1 second. Whenever Jessie Paege does her solo videos where no one else is in the frame, it's just her talking to the camera, she always kind of has this glazed over look in her eyes, almost like she's reading off a script.
Okay, maybe she is reading off a script. I just recently started scripting my videos, and I am not the best at it. I'm much better at just shooting from the hip like I'm doing on this one. But I decided to start scripting to maybe edit out some of the ums. I have so many ums in my video. It was taking me like hours to edit them out. So I had other YouTubers, give me the advice to, hey, maybe you should try to script your videos out. So maybe she's just not that comfortable reading. It's like getting up in front of a classroom to read a paper. Everybody remembers that. Everybody can relate to what that's like. Now, imagine that classroom is 1.5 million people in that class. Perhaps she's just not comfortable reading off of a script that she made. What's your point?
Hope that made you feel awkward and pressure to subscribe, because that made me feel awkward, but like in the best way. Okay.
She kind of reminds me of a more upbeat Marina Joyce. Now, if you don't know who Marina...
Okay, no way. That was nothing like Marina Joyce, first of all. Her delivery in that little clip that you just played didn't seem robotic. It seemed like maybe it was a joke, but maybe not a well-executed joke. Like she was trying to be funny, and it was obvious she was trying to be funny. It wasn't like a genuine funny. I would not say she had a glazed look and was robotic in any way. Yeah, trying to be funny, and it fell flat. Definitely not robotic. Definitely not a Marina Joyce either. Holy shit.
Joyce's, oh boy.
Oh, see right there, Filthy Frank. Tell me that was not Filthy Frank in a weird fucking hat and crazy contacts. Conspiracy confirmed. Let's talk about conspiracy theories. I think this is Filthy Frank. Filthy Frank in makeup. Someone Google that shit. Let me know.
Happened to me which took a turn for the worse. It came to the point that I could barely hold a conversation anymore. My mind had been so messed around with.
Do you see what I'm saying here?
No. Anybody who just watched those 2 clips can see a clear difference between Marina and Jessie. Nobody sees what you're saying in that. No one.
I don't want to say she's on drugs, because I don't really get that vibe. I don't think she's on drugs when she films videos.
What's wrong with being on drugs when you film videos? Just a joke. Just a joke. But even if she wanted to, it's her fucking channel. She wants to do drugs in her videos. That's her prerogative. It's her channel.
It's just it seems very carefully constructed, almost like she's not a human.
Or she's scripting videos and not that comfortable with it. Ever think of that?
Like when I see Jessie Paege on the internet and what she's peddling and her various messages, which are all very agreeable, by the way. I'm not saying I disagree with what she's saying. It's that I could take that meme where like you asked an AI to watch 1,000 hours of something or learn for 1,000 hours of something. Well, Jessie Paege is the embodiment of the meme where if I ask an AI to study Tumblr for 10,000 hours and then spit out whatever it has, make a script, make something, it would literally spit out Jessie Paege. Also, the laugh. Also, if you take that same clip of her laughing and amplify the sound even a little bit, you might be surprised.
Listen, if someone will support your content, the good and the trashy,
conspiracy confirmed, Jessie Paege is an android sent from Tumblr. She did a react video not long ago. And what I've found is that YouTubers that edit their videos or have a ton of jump cuts in all their videos and can't even say like one full sentence without doing a jump cut, generally if you see them on a live stream, they're very different. They don't have as much to say, they're not as constructed.
You mean like they are used to reading off of scripts? Like a lot of YouTubers do? And you know, you were talking about the whole, if I made a meme from Tumblr and stuff like this, I get the feeling that if I memed emo goth kid and notice me senpai, we would get social repose. Just throwing that out there. Oh, and Filthy Frank. You gotta put Filthy Frank in there. Filthy Frank, goth lord, notice me senpai. Someone meme that shit.
I'm not even kidding. I will show you this and I will show you her little square and I will fast forward it times 3. And this is what she had to say about the video. And all this.
Okay, she acted just like every other React channel, besides Blasphemous HD. I would give him a pass. That dude's funny as fuck. But I don't see you making a video on Jinx. That's all that motherfucker does. Sits there and stares without saying a fucking word. That's how most React channels do it. They sit there without much to offer.
Tells me is that her editing and crazy amount of jump cuts and the way she portrays herself in her solo videos is kind of just covering up for her lack of personality. Part 3, and this is a really big one, audience pandering. Like I said in the last section, Jessie Paege is kind of an embodiment, antithesis, if you will, of Tumblr and kind of that culture. Literally anything that comes out of her mouth can be easily found on Tumblr, written in a quirky font over a rainbow or colorful background. And it makes me wonder whether it's her talking or her just trying to relate to her audience for the sake of relating to her audience.
Okay, again, let's take a look at you. You go to Tumblr, you type in goth kid, that's pretty much it. You made a song about a suicide note. It wasn't even a song, you were just reading the fucking suicide note. Just a shout for attention. Let's go through your thumbnails. You're talking about echo chambers. I'm pretty sure you rely on people who feel the same way as you. Everybody does. I assure you, not many radical Muslims or Christians come to my fucking channel. The, notice me senpai goth kids go to your channel. And I got no problem with that whatsoever. To each their own. But I'm pointing out the hypocrisy here. You obviously pander to your audience as well. I see your videos and I'm like, holy fuck, look at this beta male who read his suicide note as a song.
Because there are very simple ways to come off as relatable without looking disingenuous. But with her
coming from the guy with blacked out contacts, his throat painted black, who's always wearing feathers, a headdress, and some kind of fucking angel wings. Y'all know what the hell I'm talking about. Are you kidding me?
Consistent delivery of just kind of very stiff, and it does feel very put together. It does feel very thought out, and I don't know, it just comes off as very fake. But most of the time when I see her talking about mental health and the LGBTQ community and all those positive activism messages that she talks about, everything that she says just feels very generic and easy to digest. And that doesn't make her message wrong, but I can't stress enough, it's the delivery that kills it here. Like for instance, her coming out video that she made a couple months ago, which was very brave and courageous and brand convenient. The very first shot of that video was her crying on the phone, which I can assume was her talking to a loved one or somebody important in her life and talking about coming out.
Yep, gonna have to go back to your whole suicide note thing. I like how you point out, oh, brand convenient. Yeah, it's courageous for anybody to come out, first of all. So the fact that you had to put in that little jape about it being a brand, a good time for branding and shit, that's a fucking low blow, and you should be ashamed of yourself. You were trying to get some bullshit sympathy and some notice me senpai. Yeah, I keep using that phrase because it seems pretty damn fitting for reading a suicide note. I don't think you should be casting any judgments here. You are coming off as weak and desperate in this video. And I'm still convinced from the beginning it's because she hangs out with your ex-girlfriend.
Your mom and I love you. You know, it's been this half a month.
The shot is perfectly lit. She has a full face of makeup on. It's very clear she didn't just quickly turn on the camera for this intimate moment. She had it ready. Everything is very cohesive and put together in this shot to have this very intimate and supposedly spontaneous moment. I know the more...
Okay, well, she could get ready, I mean, she's a YouTuber, so she gets her camera ready, she puts her makeup on and everything, and then she gets emotional in the middle of it. Again, I haven't watched the video, but that would be my guess. People get emotional when they're talking about shit sometimes, especially when it's personal like that and has the potential to cause, you know, damage to relationships and all this. That kind of goes against your whole, she's an android thing, she's not human. That was a very human emotional response. Just because she was prepared for recording the video does not mean she was prepared to talk about what she was talking about.
Impressionable people or the people who don't make YouTube videos don't see this. But once you kind of Wizard of Oz it and peek past the curtain a little bit, it's very easy to see this kind of behavior. I've done it, everyone else has done it.
Okay, if you've done it, why are you casting judgments here?
It's just fake and disingenuous. A good point to be made is that I feel like her audience ignores the fact that she so desperately wants to create this image for people to like her.
Desperately wants to create this image. Holy shit. The irony is strong with this one. The hypocrisy is strong with this one.
For people to agree with her. Because her message is so positive, and because she is pro-equality and pro-LGBT, and it understands the importance of mental health. Those are all very incredibly important things.
But fuck her, right?
But the way she comes at it is very inhuman and uninspired. A point I forgot to mention while filming the original video, it's called professional fangirling. It's where YouTubers try to be a super fan of whichever artist is most popular at the time in order to seem more relatable to their audience.
I just really want to pop. Okay.
Or she's just genuinely a fan. There's a reason these people are popular. I don't know who the hell she's listening to, but there's a reason they're popular. A lot of people like them. She's not allowed to like them because she's a YouTuber?
If Troye Sivan gave me a postcard written in Japanese, I would probably die. I mean, no, I would die.
And down to our last point, her Twitter account. Oh boy. This is originally how I found out about Jessie Paege. She has a very, very large following on Twitter.
Stalking your ex-girlfriend on Twitter, came across one of her posts.
And she posts a fair amount. And like I keep saying, it's not the message I have an issue with, it's the delivery. Shining a light on mental health awareness and like suicide prevention and stuff like that is an amazing thing, especially if you have a large following.
Hell yeah, so let's shoot that shit down right quick.
But to constantly post the same thing, or to post a variation of the same thing over and over again, kind of defeats the original point of the post and makes it just seem like you're grabbing for metrics instead of actually giving a shit about the cause. And this
Or she's trying to make sure the message gets out because maybe not everybody saw the first post. And again, I don't know this girl. I don't know this girl, but I do know how petty this video sounds and how I can call you on your bullshit even not knowing this girl.
This brings me to one of my final points that I try to always tread lightly on when I talk freely about it because I don't want to piss everyone off, but Jessie Paege is an incredibly lazy activist.
You don't want to piss everyone off, but you took someone who is clearly loved, has no problem with anybody, causes no problems with anybody, and made a video called My Problem With Her. You, sir, are begging for attention, and you definitely want the attention, criticism, and hate. Because it fuels you.
Upon the advent of armchair activism and Twitter activism and social justice, Jessie Paege kind of fits into that mold, which is honestly kind of destructive. Like, yes, it is a very good positive thing that she so publicly came out as bisexual. I have no problems with that. Who would? Who would? Really? Honestly, who would?
It sounds like you do.
But to put it in a frame, like this is such an incredibly daring and taboo thing to do. This is 2018. Yes, there are still homophobes, there are still racists, there are still very awful, problematic people in the world, but not around her. Her audience is an echo chamber. When Ellen DeGeneres came out as gay, I believe 25 years ago, that was essentially career ending.
I don't know if you noticed this, but she is a YouTuber with 1.5 million subscribers, I think is what you said. Anybody can leave comments on that video, so it was potentially career-ending, and maybe not career-ending, but definitely full of hate. Twitter is also a very public forum, so tons of hate on there. I fail to see your point. Just because Ellen DeGeneres is on fucking TV, they're both capable of getting that hate. And I'm pretty sure you've gotten a fair amount of hate as well, as have I. I mean, just for being an atheist, I get tons of fucking hate. So I can't imagine coming out, you know, bisexual. The Christians come after me left and right. But let me tell you, they definitely come after the LGBTQ crowd. So this point is non-valid. This is nothing more than a desperate attempt for attention because you know damn well how much hate you can get on YouTube and Twitter. This is fucking pathetic. Oh my God, this is fucking pathetic.
That was daring, that was tough, and that was activism.
How was Ellen DeGeneres coming out activism? And so what? Ellen's coming out was better than anybody else's coming out because she's a celebrity? I can't even speak. I mean, that is the dumbest thing I think I've ever heard.
Jessie Paege is doing, while inherently positive, feels more like a brand curated decision than actual activism because I don't see her ever actually putting her neck out on the line. I don't see her saying things that people actually disagree with. I don't think I've ever seen Jessie Paege once say something actually controversial that people largely either disagreed with or had a 50-50 split. All I'm saying is that if you tweet about these social subjects, this fight in our culture and our society, don't frame it like you're fighting the good fight when it feels more like just a grab for likes and retweets.
Okay, let me ask you this. I don't know how many people you've debated. Typically, it's better to come at someone instead of in an aggressive manner, you're fucking wrong, and throwing it in their face. You said yourself that she does not like to offend people or, you know, cause any kind of controversy or anything like that. Do you ever think maybe it's doing more good by being subtle? Because if you just throw it into a bigot's face, they're automatically going to swat it back at you with some of the most foul, hate-filled shit ever. But if you're very subtle about it, they don't get that big of a reaction out of it. Maybe that's why. I'm not saying that's why, but it's a possibility. Maybe that's why. Have you ever asked her why she is so kind of laid back about it? Maybe she just doesn't want extreme amounts of hate every day in her life. Some people just don't want that kind of stress. Who are you to judge how she comes out and how she supports a movement of any kind? There's plenty of movements I don't get along with, trust me. But it sounds to me like she's just kind of, hey, this is what it is. You know, I don't want any shit, but this is how it is. I don't see a problem with that at all. Some people don't want the fight. They still want to support, but they don't want the direct fight.
As opposed to actually making a difference. And I'm sure some of her supporters will come at me saying, hey man, she really helped me, which I'm sure she has because of her message. But in a similar light, if you talk to someone who's a Jake Pauler, they could also say that Jake Paul saved their life through his positive messages. So that doesn't really carry a lot of weight with me, because I'm not disagreeing with her social outlook on the world. I'm disagreeing with how she portrays it, how her entire brand just feels very constructed and very stiff and very fake. And ultimately, as I've said many times, disingenuous. So what do you guys think of Jessie Paege?
I think we should go down your entire archive of videos, especially like the music you've made and stuff, and see how in the box and scripted and constructed it is. Bet you don't want us doing that, do ya?
Am I wrong here? Do you disagree with me? That's totally fine if you do.
Yes. And yes.
This is my opinion. Please leave a comment down below. I don't have anything to plug here. Make sure to like and subscribe, I guess. Merch. And stay sad, but not too sad. See you in the next one. Mwah.
You don't have anything to plug, but like and subscribe. Oh, and merch. So that's it. I just had to comment on this. I saw people talk about it on Twitter. I'm like, what the hell are people talking about? And I was like, okay, well, let's go check it out. Again, I don't know who this Jessie Paege is. She seems sweet from the clips that, he's showing. I might go check her out or something. This is clearly just a desperate video, because apparently this girl is best friends with his ex, and I guess he's butthurt about his ex. I don't know. I am going to plug something here, though. Be sure to go Patreon my ass. I really appreciate all the support from all you guys just for watching the videos and everything, especially my patrons, though. Love you guys. I'm able to keep doing what I do because of y'all. So if you want to join in supporting me being able to continue this, I really appreciate it. If not, I will always put out shit that's free. But there you go. There's my plug. So I know this isn't like a typical video of mine. I could tell it was gonna be hypocritical. But that's all I got. Bye.